This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Saints, Buccaneers. We'll be extremely quick with this one because I don't want to talk about it very much. No, I'm kidding. We'll give it the full breakdown that it deserves. 24-20, New Orleans wins this game in Tampa Bay. Another game that really was affected by the weather as it was rainy down in Tampa like it was in Jacksonville. Top 5 graded players that we had for the New Orleans Saints: linebacker Pete Warner with an 84.9, tight end Juwan Johnson with an 84.1, cornerback Alontae Taylor with an 80.5, offensive tackle Kelvin Beggs Jr. with a 79.9, defensive tackle Nathan Shepard rounding things out in the top 5 with a 78.3. But then quarterback Tyler Shough, 83.7 overall grade. Look at that picture. Got the shoulder pads popping out.
Pouring rain in Tampa, too. Not that that's breaking news or anything, but
hits, diving into the end zone. On Tampa side of things, defensive tackle Vita Vea with a 90.0. Running back Rachaad White with a 71.8. Running back Bucky Irving with a 71.8 for Rachaad White, and then a 70.8 for Bucky Irving. Luke Gedeke, their offensive tackle, with a 68.7. Edge rusher Yaya Diaby, a 65.9. And the Baker Mayfield in this game, a 37.6. I'll start with my most disappointing against Baker Mayfield. I've talked about this for the last 3 weeks straight. Baker Mayfield is not this hot and cold quarterback right now. He's just cold. That's it. Even before the shoulder injury, he's just cold. He was an MVP caliber quarterback for the first 5 weeks of the season, and from week 6 on, he has been one of the most unreliable quarterbacks. He's been one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks, and he has one of the lowest plus accuracy throw percentages in the NFL. So Baker Mayfield right now is not giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a chance to win the game. Now, I'm not saying that they should put Teddy Bridgewater in and that Bridgewater would for sure do a better job than Baker Mayfield. But what I am saying is that the way that Mayfield is playing right now is not giving Tampa Bay a chance to win the game. And we've seen that for the last month and a half, I would say. And I don't know if it's the shoulder necessarily, because it's not his throwing shoulder, it's the other shoulder. But, is that affecting him a lot? The accuracy is so poor. In this game, he had a 37% uncatchable pass percentage. 37%. Almost 40% of your passes are so inaccurate that they're uncatchable. Nobody's going to win that way. Unless you have Jonathan Taylor rushing for 250 yards, nobody's going to win like that. And a team that has been as poor as the Saints have all year long can come into Tampa and beat you, again, when you play that poorly. So that to me that was my most disappointing, and that sort of goes into the stat that told the story, which I know you're going to talk about here. Third down, fourth down. I mean, the Bucs were 2-7 on fourth down. Now, one of those fourth downs was a Hail Mary at the end of the half, so okay, you can take that away. But still, 2 for 6 on fourth down situations. I mean, the Saints had your number. They wanted it more. They executed better. Same thing on third down. Third down was barely better. And when you don't have the ability to gain first downs through the air consistently, these are the numbers that you're going to see. So Tampa is going in the absolute wrong direction. They were down Tristan Wirfs in this game. Tristan Wirfs didn't play. Mike Evans obviously is not playing. There's a chance that both him and Jalen McMillan could come back. Chris Godwin looks a little bit better. And so there's a world where very soon, maybe even for Thursday Night Football this week, Tampa's wide receiver core is Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan for the first time all season. Perhaps. And maybe you can convince yourselves that them getting healthier on offense makes things a little bit better. But to be honest with you, it doesn't even matter what receivers are out there because Baker's been so poor at getting them the football.
Right now, the early success looks like it was a product of Baker for 5 weeks being the best deep ball passer in the league. As teams have taken that away, he has not found other answers in this game. How about 1 for 10 in the intermediate range with 3 turnover-worthy plays?
Yeah. That's the killer.
The Saints, Brandon Staley called a really good game when it comes to he's a heavy zone coverage guy, but the Saints did a great job of staying over the top and then mixing it up here and there. with man coverage that really confused Mayfield, and he just doesn't look confident throwing the ball right now. I don't even think it's a mechanical problem. I don't even think, obviously, the injury might be something when it comes to his mechanics, but I don't see anything that different. This team, I'd like to say it's one thing, but the passing game in general just looks broken.
No, it is one thing. It is one thing. It's Baker.
It is, but they also, like, Chris Godwin does not look totally like Chris Godwin.
Like, he had a drop, and like I get it, but the problem is Baker. He is more than 50%, in my opinion, of their issues in the passing game. He is not giving them a chance to win.
I get it. I also think there, at this point, this many weeks in a row, there needs to be an emphasis. Like we saw under the previous two offensive coordinators, when they were struggling to get the ball vertical like this, there were answers underneath to emphasize yards after catch, right? Mm-hmm. There were answers to get the ball to the backs or to just kind of take the pressure off of Baker to have to force it vertically. We're not getting that right now either. I don't think the play calling's helping him either. I don't think anything stacks like it did under the last two. And look, they're two great offensive coordinators. That's why they're head coaches now, right? Mm-hmm. And now Josh Grizzard, I think, is under a lot of pressure to try to figure this out. But they're not figuring it out. And I mean, to go a combined 5 for 20 on 3rd and 4th down. Here's the fun one. I believe it's 4 third down conversions in this game. All right. It was 3 of them. 3 of them on 3rd down on pass plays, mm-hmm. all 3 of them scrambles. They did not on 3rd or 4th down complete a pass that gained a 1st down. That's only the 9th time this year that's happened. Mm-hmm. And the Bucs are the only team among those 9 to do it twice. This is and the funny part is the first one was actually a win over San Francisco, and they were physically dominating that game, and he had a couple of deep shots. They so badly need to win on Thursday. I don't have to tell you that twice. And I believe Carolina's playing Seattle this coming week, I want to say. They so badly need to win this week, Thursday, against the Falcons. Because if they don't, the Panthers are sitting there licking their chops.
Panthers play the Saints.
It's the Saints. They get Seattle. It's Tampa and then Seattle. Okay, yeah. Seattle's the later one.
They are Tampa. They are Tampa, Seattle, Tampa.
And for the sake of tiebreakers, also, this was the absolute worst game the Bucs could have lost.
Yeah.
Because the Panthers, you had a tiebreaker in hand with the division record if you split.
Right.
Because the Panthers lost to the Saints.
Right.
This is the absolute worst game the Bucs could have lost.
Yep.
Was this game right
And
here.
The problem with Tampa is when you look at how, shout out to Tyler Shough and specifically the RPO plays where he was able to keep it and become a runner and have those plays where he was able to get to the outside. Tampa has not been good with outside run. Remember that New England Patriots game? How poor they were at defending the sideline when it came to the run game? Guess who the Bucs' opponent is in the middle of the Carolina games? It's the Dolphins. What do the Dolphins do? They run to the outside.
Yep. And
Jalen Wright had over 100 yards when Devon Achane got hurt.
Yep.
Because that team is so good at outside zone and pull lead plays, which we'll get to when we analyze the Dolphins game here in a few minutes. But, like, Tampa's in trouble, man. Tampa's in big trouble. And the whole season's going to come down to those two Panthers games.
We've talked about it behind the scenes, too. A big reason for that, their linebackers, they just can't get lateral.
No.
They cannot. Levante David, love him. Future Hall of Famer, maybe.
He's a step behind.
But he is absolutely a step behind, and Servassier Dennis is a step behind as well. It is a real problem at the second level, this team trying to work laterally right now in the run game. It's an issue. But like you mentioned, Tyler Shough, what a gutsy performance in the pouring rain.
Gutsy's a great word for it.
And the Saints, you could feel the Saints, especially as the second half went on, and they smelled blood in the water, man. Mm-hmm. And Tyler Shough kind of talked about it after the game. He goes, we believed we could beat this team. Mm-hmm. Last time it was, Spencer Rattler getting benched at halftime and Shough coming out playing. They just never had a shot in that game. They didn't execute well in that game. But they felt like I thought Brandon Staley did a great job on defense of just understanding how to limit the big plays for the most part from the Bucs and making them work underneath. Tyler Shough, couple of huge. I'll tell you a couple of big plays more even as much as the runs. There was a couple of huge throws to Devon Vele in a 4-minute drill that they didn't quite get to finish off, but they burned a lot of clock out. There was 2 third down conversions I was really impressed with late from Shough to Vele. And I just think you have Tyler Shough, who, as opposed to Spencer Rattler in the gunslinging ways that we got earlier in the year with all the turnover-worthy plays, what you're getting with Shough is just an understanding of situations, right? And he's given him a chance to win because of that, because he's not giving the football away. No turnover-worthy plays in this game. There was a lot of this game in the passing game for the Saints. It wasn't flashy either. It was pouring rain, but he made enough throws to get it done. He made enough runs to get it done, right? It was 7 carries for 55 yards and the 2 touchdowns. I mean, just doing what it takes to win. It's good that Tyler Shough is learning that right now under Kellen Moore as this team really tries to figure out their identity.
Shout out to Mario Davis. Shout out Granderson, who I thought was I thought both of those guys just the wise front 7 players for the New Orleans Saints. I thought were really able to show up in this game and have some really highly impactful plays.
Shout out the secondary, man. Kool-Aid McKinstry was really good. Alante Taylor with an interception.
Graded really well.
I'm telling Brandon Staley, there have been certain games this year where Brandon Staley has really had this defense playing up and keeping them in games. And this was absolutely one of them because they were behind for a bit in this game. And when they really figured out that the rhythm they had of the Bucs, just they weren't going to get over the top on them, they played deep shell zone early in the game, and it started creeping forward because they knew that space was just, and in the rain especially, that Baker was just not going to get it over the top. It wasn't happening. So credit Brandon Staley, and just you mentioned that entire defensive unit, really. They were awesome.
Anything else on this one?
Nope. The Bucs, as you well know, they're in trouble. That's a problem right now.
Thanks, Dalton. Appreciate it.